Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Chelsea. If you're new here, if you're not new, welcome back. I'm just a lady with a bulldog, a camera, and too many opinions, and I have a lot of opinions about this creator that we're talking about today.
Of course I have skeletons in my closet. So do you.
Today we're discussing Dana Christine Hare, also known as It's Sinna Bunny across social media. Dana is a Nashville-based polyamorous, festival-attending, self-proclaimed sex-positive influencer and OnlyFans creator. Online, they market themselves as a hot mess, festival-loving MILF. And in reality, and in my opinion, they've been wrapped up in multiple controversies, accused of neglectful parenting, exploitation, revenge, schmorn, financial grifts, being a pathological liar, and basically just having a revolving door of unstable and toxic relationships. Now, obviously, I do want to be respectful still, even to the shittiest of people, but Dana does use the pronouns they, them. Recently, when I first filmed this video, when I first tried to, they were using she, her pronouns, and so that's what I was using. But then literally like the day I filmed the second half of it or was like filling in certain things, I looked and it said they, them. And I was like, what? Excuse me. And obviously I don't want to be disrespectful in that manner towards anyone, any human. I want to respect you and however you identify. There's a lot of other things that I can be disrespectful about, okay? But that's not one of them. So I do just want to say right off the bat, if I have missed a she, her, or like there's a pronoun slip up somewhere in my script, I do just want to like go ahead and proactively apologize for that, because when you've already gone through this and it's just difficult. Okay. So I do just want to say that I am not purposely doing that. I would not do that. Hey friends, before we get too far into this video, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, which is PDS Debt. Don't be like the person we're covering in this video. You don't need to scam people to pay off your debt. There are solutions out there. PDS Debt goes beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial situation and craft a personalized plan designed just for you. There's no minimum credit score required, and they're here to help you save money, pay off your debt faster, and start putting your money where it actually belongs, which is in your account. Debt can be overwhelming. It starts off small here and there and really just feels like it can snowball and take over your life and seem like it can be never ending. You make payments on something, and then it comes back in the interest, and it just feels like you're slowly chipping it away just for it to grow even bigger. But PDS Debt has customized options available for you for people who are struggling with credit cards, personal loans, medical bills, or even collections. Stop living in debt. Get your free assessment right now at pdsdebt.com/Suarez. That's /SUAREZ. You should know how to spell that because it's my last name and part of the name of this channel. You're just 30 seconds away from starting to get out of debt. That's pdsdebt.com/Suarez. And thank you again, PDS Debt, for being a continued sponsor of my channel. And thank you to you guys for continuously supporting my channel and my sponsors. Without the sponsors and y'all's support of the sponsors, I would not be able to do this. So I really do appreciate you. Now let's get back to this absolute goblin of a person that we're making a video about. And since Dana is an OnlyFans creator as well, I do just want to say this is not about shaming sex workers. Sex work is real work. And I know there's a lot of people who will be in my comment section and take that phrase and use it facetiously and try to, I don't know, diminish that when that is quite literally the oldest profession ever. And doing it online and digitally and all that is a safer way to do that. And there is a way to ethically do that as well. So I just want to say that. However, I don't think that Dana is doing that ethically. And there are a lot of business practices and just issues with her businesses in general. Dana has over 90,000 followers on TikTok with an average of around 3,000 views per video over the last few months and over 10,000 followers on Twitter. They post videos and story times mostly about being a polyamorous person, dating in the world of poly, and being an OnlyFans creator, and also tips and tricks and story times regarding attending festivals.
Okay, so let me tell you about a bad first date I went on a few years ago. Today I want to talk about what a lot of y'all are already doing, but maybe not talking about out loud, and that is hooking up with strangers at music festivals. Today we're going to talk about festival red flags, what to look for, and how to stay safe.
To me, at least, it's pretty obvious that Dana isn't making much money off of their TikTok page. I mean, just look at the views. It's not much at all. And I do know TikTok's monetization is pretty abysmal unless you're getting like millions or hundreds of thousands of views every video, or let's say even like tens of thousands, but posting multiple videos a day, right? And that's just not the case with Dana's TikTok. But they do have their OnlyFans, which we will get to in a bit. And they also have their business where they actually make acrylic paddles. And yes, you heard me right. Paddles for like spanking consenting adults, right? Now, here's the thing. I think that's adorable. I think that for a OnlyFans creator, doing something like that, like super niche like that, is really smart. That's really, really, really smart, actually. And I love that for them. Great. What I don't love is trademark infringement, because yikes, it seems like that's what they're doing. So their business is called Glutton for Punishment Crafts LLC. And on their website, you can see that they are promoting and selling a bunch of acrylic paddles that they say that they make to order and all that, but that have a lot of characters and things that are clearly trademarked. You can't do that. I mean, you can, but like, that's illegal. That's highly illegal unless you have the licensing from whatever company owns that, i.e. Disney, MGM, Paramount, Universal, whatever, right? And I know that all can be pretty confusing. I find it fascinating. The owner of Glamlight, a cosmetics company, so her name's Giselle, I believe. She has an awesome video that explains all of that. So I'm actually going to let her take it over and you can watch that, then understand, like have a better idea of it. And then you'll realize, oh shit, Dana didn't do that. No, 100% Dana didn't do that, in my opinion. So let's just go ahead and let her take it away, Giselle. Educate us.
So my name is Giselle and I'm the founder of Glamlight, and I've done makeup collaborations with companies such as Ghostface, Nightmare on Elm Street, Barbie, Icy, Scooby-Doo, Frosted Flakes, Hershey's, and so many more. So I get thousands and thousands of comments of people asking me, is your stuff official, or are you out there like just stealing copyright infringement? And I know you guys are familiar with what's going on with TikTok Shop. Like literally so many thousands of sellers just woke up yesterday, the day before, and their shops were closed for copyright infringement. So all of my products are 1000% officially licensed. That means I have contracts with companies such as like Warner Bros, Universal Studios, Disney, Icy, Hershey's, Kellogg's, and I have like about 25 other licenses right now that I haven't launched yet. Licenses can start anywhere from $5,000 to up to $1 million. But once you're like paying like $1 million, like you're licensing like a A-list celebrity, like a singer or something like that. However, the average license is about $50,000 depending on what you want to do. My cheapest license was $5,000. My most expensive license was $350,000, which I regret. Now let's talk about the cost, because there's just more. That's just the minimum guarantees for the contracts. We haven't even gone into the costing of testing. When you're working with big companies such as like Universal Studios and Disney, they take it very seriously. They're putting their name onto a particular product, so they require you to do testing. Depending on how many items are in your collection. For cosmetics, remember, I'm a makeup brand, so I don't know how it works for like sneakers and t-shirts, but for makeup, we have to get the products tested. So it can be anywhere from $10,000 to $130,000.
So as you can imagine, having all of these characters and trademarked figures on your site and that you're selling, I mean, that right there is trademark infringement, and that could possibly cost Dana a lot of money and legal fees and fines. For instance, here are just a few examples of this. We have the Scream paddle, the Scream face mask, and then we have the Jason one, there's a Grinch one, a Rick and Morty one, Beetlejuice, Spider-Man, and that's just a few. That's just a few. Now, I know we've talked about the OnlyFans just a tiny bit, but I do want to get more into that. Now, Dana has been accused of using, how should we phrase this? So doing collaborations with other people, hooking up with them, filming it, and putting it on their OnlyFans and charging for it. But then later on, whoever it was, let's say, revoked consent and was saying, you know, I'm not doing that type of adult content anymore. I'm not doing sex work anymore. So now I would like for that to not be out there and not be for sale. Well, apparently said individuals made that very clear and asked Dana to take it down. And while Dana allegedly took it down like publicly, or rather front facing from their OnlyFans, they were apparently shopping it around to people in DMs, which is still pretty messed up. And allegedly that behavior only stopped because they were called out for it. Since we're on the topic of OnlyFans as well, and we'll get more into the parenting aspect of this, but Dana got a tattoo of their daughter's name across their chest, which I'm not even gonna touch that. And there are a lot of people who have differing opinions on this. I personally am of the opinion that if you have your child's name tattooed on you and you're doing adult content, maybe cover it up. Like, that just seems kind of iffy. I'm not quite sure. Now, Dana did previously say, oh, I'm going to cover it up with makeup, but then proceeded to not do that. And when people asked them, you know, I thought you were going to cover this up, they said, I changed my mind. And listen, that's fine. You can change your mind. Absolutely. Sure. You can change your mind about something you said previously, but it's weird. It seems icky, but then again, I mean, you know, how many people do have their kid's name tattooed on them and, you know, do sex work, but it just seems weird to fetishize and then have your kid's tattooed name like across your chest while you're doing. I know there's some nuance to it. I personally think it's a little bit icky. However, do whatever you want. I would not do that, and that's all right. That's not where we stop with the poor boundaries, though. So let's get into polyamory and the poor boundaries in regards to group boinking, shall we? Polyamory in itself is not the issue here. Healthy poly relationships absolutely do exist. The problem, Dana's interpretation of polyamory, involves a polycule of casual partners in and out of their house, often during content creation parties or adult events, while their child is reportedly home. Witnesses allege that these parties involve nudity, sex toy photo shoots, drug use, and general debauchery, all under the same roof as their daughter, lovingly referred to as Tiny Human. Dana claims their daughter is unaware of what's going on, often saying that their daughter was upstairs and all of this happens at the basement, except witnesses have reported the child interacting with guests, including reading kids' books to a group of adults before said sex party kicked off. And Dana reportedly encouraged this. And just to really twist the knife a bit, or twist the acrylic paddle, if you will, Dana posted a picture of their daughter playing on a stripper pole to their private Facebook group, a pole in a room the child, quote, wasn't allowed in. Now, if you have to explain to CPS that your daughter will not be entering adult-only rooms because it has happened so many times and because you've posted that on the internet, you're not setting boundaries. You're crossing them very loudly, might I add. And I'm not saying that you can't have a healthy sex life with multiple partners, do whatever as long as everyone is consenting. But the argument here is that their 7-year-old, almost 8-year-old daughter isn't consenting to living in that type of environment. And while they might not think that it's an issue right now, the kid, think back to your childhood and when you were a teen, which is still a child, but when you were a teen as well. How many things at that time did you not think were a big deal or that they weren't inappropriate? And then now you're looking back and you're like, oh dear God, that was very inappropriate. Probably a lot of things, right? And if your answer is not a lot of things, you beautiful, sweet summer child, God bless you. Probably don't have the trauma like the rest of us do. And you know what? Good for you. Many people on the internet have brought up the issue of Dana having these group parties, you know, group boink sessions. I'm trying to use words where I'm not going to get demonetized because this video is already just full of debauchery, okay? I'm trying my best. Remembering the pronouns is hard enough and I'm trying to be respectful. Anyways, watch. They're going to get wind of this video being posted and they're going to change the preferred pronouns again. That is something that this person would do, okay? Either way though, want to be respectful no matter what, because even if you're a person, I don't care. That journey for you is valid and I want to respect that. Also, hey babe, happy Pride Month. Hey girl, your butt looks good. Not this girly pop. Their butt does not look good. It's a hyperbole, okay? It doesn't mean physically. It just means your whole aura is stanky and crusty. Ugh. Tangent, sorry. Okay, so where were we? Now, Dana has said multiple times and rebutted these allegations, I guess you could call them, that they are putting their kid in danger by having just a throng, SAT word, of individuals in their basement to rub genitals. And they've said like, oh, I know all of these people. However, group texts have been leaked that have said, which is like, who are you adding to these group chats that they would like, let Reddit get a hold of this? Like, you're clearly not vetting people that are coming to your basement where your kid is right upstairs and these people are coming to rub genitals with you. Like, what are you doing? It's truly, truly wild. And again, if they did not have a child, and this is not me being like, you're a mother, do better. No, girl, get your tits out. Who cares? But like, it's when you're putting your child in that scenario and around these people who you quite literally don't know. So these screenshots were leaked of group texts saying like, oh, there's so many new people in here that like, I don't know. And it's like, Dana, tell me again how you know all these people, how you vet all these people. Another great example of how it really does seem like Dana's just letting people into their life that, again, they don't know much about. You would think that before you start dating someone, you would know if they have a criminal record. You'd think in this day and age, it just takes a quick Google to find that out. And Dana didn't know that. Reddit found out before them. That's crazy. And Dana even admitted that themselves as well, which is wild. They were like, oh, I didn't even know that, you know, y'all were mad that I'm dating a felon. I didn't even know they're a felon when we started dating. What? Now you might be thinking, if I was gonna, have a super spicy party or spicy weekend, I'd send my kid off to like their grandparents' house for the weekend, or like, I don't know, get a babysitter and then go to a hotel. Well, that suggestion has been made many times. And Dana's response is that they are 32 years old and that's weird to get a hotel room to do that stuff. Girl, that ain't weird. That's pretty, I feel like it's pretty common. I feel like that's pretty common.
That just feels like a really weird take because, like, how else are you supposed to hook up with someone if you don't bring them home? Like, going to their house feels more unsafe to me.
But what do we expect from someone who clearly doesn't understand the whole idea and premise of age appropriate? Because Dana seems to think, and has said this before, that 7-year-olds can consent to like being on camera in regards to like informed consent and being like a part of content. No, they can't. But Dana was... Just watch this video of Dana talking off screen to their almost 8-year-old, talking about consent. It's just like, babe, they're 7. It doesn't matter if they know what it is. They can't grasp it. They don't have, like, they can't see and understand the magnitude of like these things that they're consenting to as children, especially being on the internet. It doesn't matter if you taught them what the word means. Like, yeah, I've taught my toddler that he should ask before trying to hug someone to death. He gets real lovey and then it gets real aggressive. Doesn't mean he fully gets it.
Think that kids your age understand consent?
I don't really know. It has to be the type of the child. Like, if a 7-year-old understands and their parents like want to teach them early, like I get it. But like, if they don't and they're 7 and they just don't know, maybe, I don't know.
So it just depends on the maturity of the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it depends on what the parent wants to do with the kid. Teach them earlier, or teach them in life.
Yeah. We taught you really early what consent meant.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Speaking of not being a great parent, in my opinion, let's talk about CPS being involved, because Dana themselves has admitted that they have been involved with them multiple times. Dana has confirmed that Child Protective Services visited their home and asked Dana to either remove pornographic imagery from the household or keep their tiny human out of the rooms where it was displayed. And Dana chose, instead of removing them, they just weren't going to let their child down into those areas. But their vlogs and other content continued to show explicit artwork all over the home, especially where areas where Tiny Human is. And it gets worse. A former friend claims that Dana taught Tiny Human how to lie to CPS. Another said that Dana left their child at home while Dana went out partying, and only stopped doing that after authorities got involved. Dana's parenting has drawn further criticism for smaller but very telling behaviors. Witnesses claim that Dana has skipped important milestones or events with Tiny Human, such as Halloween trick-or-treating, regularly slept in late, leaving Tiny Human to get herself ready for school, basically left Tiny Human to fend for themselves in regards to food and everything. These allegations paint a troubling picture of neglect, suggesting that Dana may prioritize their own lifestyle over Tiny Human's well-being. And even Shane Repzilla, who has also made content about Dana, talked with some of Dana's ex-friends and ex-partners and people who had frequented their home and asked them about the interactions with Tiny Human. And they said basically the same thing, that Dana is neglectful, does really the bare minimum when it comes to parenting, or will just explode on their kid and not talk them through things and just not be a good parent in general. The GoFundMes and frivolous spending seem to be something that a lot of people cover and talk about when it comes to Dana, so I feel like I would be doing a disservice if I didn't talk about it. The GoFundMe, as you could see from the reintroducing myself TikTok video that Dana did, Dana has said that they need extensive dental work and possibly dentures as well. Many have speculated that poor hygiene practices and past drug use may be more likely causes of Dana's severity of their dental problems. Dana later relented and admitted personal carelessness in the upkeep of their dental hygiene, but continued to insist that hyperdontia was the primary culprit. If you do not know, hyperdontia, which I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of, is basically when your mouth creates too many teeth. So I'm not a medical professional, clearly, but like, it's like when Hawaii makes more Hawaii. Your teeth just be making more teeth. Good God. Why do y'all watch this channel? Anyways, so Dana and Eli made a GoFundMe and the goal is about $15,000 and it looks like they have raised just over $3,000 and yikes, that number hasn't budged in like, I want to say like 2 or 3 months. So it's not going well. Now, before we get into Dana's previous marriage to a grapist without the G, let's go over something that is quite minuscule compared to that, but is very obnoxious in my opinion. Now, Dana's late mother had a handicap thingy for parking. And after their mom passed, Dana continued to use it. And one source said that Dana would even brag about it and say that they can use it whenever and wherever. And when confronted, Dana said that they have a missing bone in one of their feet. So they are disabled. And it's like, babe, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. Can't just take someone else's dead person's and then use it. That's illegal. That's illegal. Yeah, that's very frustrating. Having one of those is a sleigh though. We have one for my nephew. It's a sleigh. We do be using that when he's with us. Additionally, regarding Dana's late mother, something that is creepy is that Dana has allegedly used their dead mom's Facebook account as a like burner account of sorts to like lurk in pages and groups that are about them. Babe, get off. Get out of the comments. Get off of those pages. That is not helpful for you, especially with how much people dislike you and how small your audience is. That is something that is very telling. Like, listen, I know a lot of people don't like me. That's fine. Good for you. However, it is like such a small percentage compared to my audience, except for like, it is very telling when the people who don't like you, like there's more people in that camp or almost as much. Like, you know, when the scale's almost even, people who don't like you, people who do, it's like, ugh, yikes. It's very, very telling. Now let's go over Dana's marriage. Apparently they are still legally married to their ex or estranged husband, Matthew. And Matthew was not only allegedly abusive towards, that's not to diminish anything they have said, but just, I wasn't there, I don't know, but allegedly abusive towards Dana, but then also apparently towards Tiny Human as well, which is horrifying. But then also apparently was engaging in sexual activities or trying to do that with minors. So that's horrendous. Now I'm going to include a little segment here where Shane Repsilla talks about this because he's amazing. Love him. He goes over this. I really like this snippet from his video. Also, we'll hear from him later. He put in a little statement for y'all for this video. He's so sweet.
Hello, everybody. I've been asked about my interactions with Dana. Well, my first sort of interaction with them was they sent me a DM attempting to control the narrative on my video or to silence me altogether. Couldn't really pinpoint which one. You can pause to read the DM right here. I think Dana's reached out to every person who's made a critical video on them thus far in a similar way. Dana's reaction to my content in general was to call me or frame me as a hater. Usually, Dana always calls everyone who says anything critical or makes a critical video on them a hater. And on behalf of this hater club, I would like to welcome formally CC to this hater club. We're glad to have you. Because everybody knows, and it's pretty obvious, that all the hundreds of people we've covered over the years, we hate every single one of them, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the terrible situations and things that they've done for which we criticize them for. Jesus Christ.
Now, y'all know that one of my favorite things ever is when I make a video about someone, and I'm sure it'll happen with this one too, but when I make a video about someone and then they start interacting with me and I'm like, oh dear God, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. I live for this. This is my favorite thing ever. I will make way too much content about this specific interaction. Better to just ignore me, please. So Dana did not do that. And I guess didn't understand that. Keep wanting to call him Shane. Y'all know him as Repsilla, but most commentary creators are like this. Like, I don't know why these people, I don't know. Anyways, though, we're going to get into their whole debacle, their whole back and forth in a second. But before we get into that, I think a great representation of the straw man fallacies, the ad hominems, just all the logical fallacies that Dana uses in any rebuttal, any argument, in like a statement in addressing things is what we're about to watch because it's crazy.
Hi, hello, it's me, Dana.
It's you, Dana? Could have fooled me. I thought that was the Hamburglar.
Today, I wanted to talk about my personal life a little bit. I wanted to start by saying that everyone has skeletons in their closet, but when you are a social media influencer,
not everyone has skeletons in their closet. No, that's false.
Even a small one like me, that door kind of gets flung wide open and suddenly people are pointing fingers like they've never made mistakes themselves. At this point, if you've heard something bad about me and choose to believe it, that's fine.
This right here is a crazy logical fallacy of like, you've never made mistakes. And it's like, girl, making mistakes is like accidentally running a stop sign. That's a mistake. Absolutely. Feeding your kids something they like probably shouldn't be eating. That's a mistake. Forgetting to switch over like the laundry, mistake. Having orgies in your basement while your kid is upstairs, that's not a mistake. That's literally how serial killers are made. That is how serial killers are made. Not saying her kid's going to be a serial killer. I hope not. I really pray to any higher power that tiny human becomes well adjusted.
I'm done trying to convince anyone otherwise at this point. The people who truly know me believe me and support me and are here, and that's enough. I am not perfect. I have made mistakes. There are some really bad stories out there, and some of them are true. Some of them are exaggerated, and some of them are completely false. Like, it needs to be said that I've never gone to jail for anything. I've never been charged with anything, and I don't have any child neglect charges.
Just because this is kind of this is great. This is the argument of like, well, it's not illegal. You know, the one we deal with like literally every day where it's like pyramid schemes are illegal. So clearly, you know, that's not what this is. No, it's just because you haven't been caught doing something or just because you haven't like, doesn't mean it's not happening. There are plenty of parents who haven't been visited by CPS. There are murderers out there who haven't been arrested or who are still at large and have, or like not even at large. The people don't even know exist. People do illegal things every single day and they're not caught, charged, convicted. Doesn't mean XYZ didn't happen.
Anyways, I've just reached a point where I no longer feel the need to defend myself as hard as I have been.
I've reached a point where I don't need to defend myself. They say in a video defending themselves.
Of course I have skeletons in my closet. So do you. Don't expect me to be a flawless person because I'm not, and neither are you.
I do not have skeletons in my closet. Many people do not. And saying that whoever's watching this is a flawed individual, therefore they have skeletons in their closet. It's kind of making it seem like, oh, well, you didn't put a trash bag in the trash can. That's a flaw. You bite your nails. That's a flaw. Like this, that, whatever. It's like, girl, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about child endangerment and child neglect and like the ethics of, also I call everyone girl. That's not like, to me, that's a genderless term. That's like saying guys, right? Okay. Because I know I'm prepared for this person to come back at me and be like, they're being something phobic. I'm by your pan, calm down. You're not special. A whole lot of patterns and fabrics happening though. That's more power to you, I guess. Go off, queen.
I was born just a few months after dial-up internet was invented. My parents got me my first computer at the age of 4.
When was dial-up internet invented? Al Gore invented it, right? Just kidding. Wait a minute. They said they're 32. I'm 34. Babe, the f are you talking about? Me too. My parents got me my first computer at the age of 4. So they're 2 years younger than me. So that means they were probably born in 93 or 94. So you got your first computer in 1995 or 96. Is poor parenting running is generational with y'all? Who the f is getting a kid a computer at 4? What?
And my mom spent 20 years as a professional coder before transitioning to medical coding for a surgery center when technology evolved. So to say I know my way around the internet is an understatement.
My dad's a civil engineer. I know my way around an airport. I know my way around some cement and asphalt, okay? Which realistically I do, but that is irrelevant to this. That doesn't matter. And one of your qualifications or 2 of your qualifications for that is growing up with the internet. Same, as well as every millennial and every Gen Z person. So that's irrelevant to you being called out for your behavior. This statement or these arguments are, I mean this with peace and love. Has this person had a lobotomy? Because it sounds like it.
I have built brands, managed accounts, and marketed for bands that are now hugely successful in the industry. The internet? It's kind of my thing.
That's the most millennial thing I've ever heard. The internet? It's kind of my thing. Well, actually.
But let's be real for a second. I am not a perfect person.
as I have stated, I have made mistakes like anyone else. The difference is when I mess up, I hold myself accountable.
If the internet's kind of your thing and you're so good at managing brands and managing accounts, why are your numbers so abysmal on social media? I mean, don't get me wrong, I hate TikTok. That's why I hardly post over there. But like, that's mainly what you do is you post on TikTok constantly. So like, can you explain those numbers, please?
To the people I've actually wronged, not to the entire internet. And that's exactly what I did 5 months ago when a situation happened. I took responsibility, I apologized directly to the people involved, and whether or not they want to accept my apology, that is on them. Yet somehow, because I am a public entity of sorts, these last few weeks, things have spiraled in ways that are completely unacceptable. People have taken these situations into real life, contacting my job, threatening my small business, and even dragging my child into it.
Girl, you're dragging your child into it by putting them on the internet. Don't do that. But then also, people are threatening your business. You're a threat to your business with all that trademark infringement. Also, hey, don't take things real life, please. Don't do that.
Despite the care I take to protect my child's privacy, people are using her full name in public comments and making threats towards her.
You have your daughter's name tattooed on your chest. So who put that name out there? You did. Dana has said their daughter's name in like captions and in posts and stuff before. So if you were someone who doesn't use your kid's name, okay, that's different. Like, y'all know my kid is Bean. Bean Suarez is his government name, right? That's what we say. But of course, like, that's different. You have it tattooed on you. Like, I had I was gonna have a necklace that said my kid's name, and then I was like, wait, no, I can't do that because then I'd have to take it off every single time I film, and I don't want to do that. That's obnoxious, you know? So again, who's a danger to society? You. Just kidding. That's a joke for legal purposes. I'm sure they'll find a way to twist that. But like, who's putting your business in danger? You. Who's putting your child in danger? You.
And for the people that are spreading rumors about me doxing others, it's not doxing if it's public information.
As someone who has been accused of doxing people, which I have never done and will never do, I take that very seriously. But some people on the internet are, how do I phrase this? Stupid, and think that if you have your first and last name as your name on social media, and they'll say, oh my God, but it wasn't my username. That part was public. Your profile might have been private, but like that part did show. Also, doxing has everything to do with intent as well. I was literally like on their side in a video that I did. I ended up months later taking the video down because I was like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Like, this is ridiculous. I probably should just put it back up because it proves that I didn't dox anybody. It is wild. However, don't have your first and last name on social media if you don't want your first and last name to be on social media. Don't have where you live, what other people's names are. Like, don't put it out there if you don't want it out there. That is not me victim blaming. That is saying you need to take accountability and protect yourself. However, just because information is public doesn't mean that you putting it out there with the intent to intimidate someone or harass them or threaten them, it doesn't mean that that's not doxing, because absolutely, yes, it is. Sure, if we look harder for more than like 10 minutes or 5 minutes, let's be honest, sure, we could find someone's address. But then if you're posting that somewhere with the intent of like shutting them up or, like I said, intimidating them, that's not okay. Don't do that. Again, property appraiser websites, like just random data brokers and stuff like that are on the internet. Yeah, sure. Again, you can find that information, but it does not mean that you should. That's gross. You should not do that. Okay, thank you. But again, a lot of people don't even know what doxing is and will just say like, oh, you said my name, it's doxing. Mary, chill. However, oh God, Dana literally just said, oh, if it's public information, it's not doxing. That's not necessarily true. But then also full ass goes in to admit to doxing. Get ready. This is wild.
When someone recently publicly harassed me using their own full government name on a Facebook account, a quick Google search gave me 2 addresses.
Okay, so like the first little part of like, hey, you like we're saying this with your full chest and with your full government name. Okay, hard stop right there. But it's like, girl, you went further and Googled them and then like found their addresses and like where they work and like, what? That's crazy. Also, though, again, like, yes, that's not okay. But it does need to be said that like if you do not want to deal with that, because yes, there are crazy people on the internet, you need to understand that like you should not have that information out there. I know sometimes it's nearly impossible to restrict that information from being out there, but like don't have your first and last name anywhere on your page, keep it private, whatever. Okay. Thank you.
I simply asked, hey, which one is yours? To be a little And instead of denying either one of them, they confirmed, that's my address and the other one is my grandma's. And it's not my fault that they lack discretion.
This attitude is gross. It's not my fault that they lack discretion. Or how about you did that to scare them, to try to shut them up, I assume. Who likes this person? How, like, no, this is not cute. That's not okay. Oh, that's my address and that's my grandma's. Also, who's going to come to your house? Nobody. Calm down. This woman hardly has a following. Again, I'm not trying to like diminish people being scared of stuff. I get it. And I understand. I'm like very, very hardened to it. But like the people who scream like, oh my God, it's doxing. It's like, girl, are they going to come to your house? No, they're not. Chill. Ignore it and it'll blow over in like a week and no one will care again. Okay. But this is gross. Don't do that. And as a creator, like, again, how does this person have any following? This is gross, nasty, diabolical, crusty. This is crusty behavior.
So let me make something crystal clear here. I will do whatever I need to do to protect my family. Threaten me, you'll face consequences. I have an attorney. I'm in every hate group of mine lurking.
That's not a flex. That means you have too much time on your hands. That's not cute. And I get it that sometimes hate groups, snark groups, whatever, because there's a difference between like snark and then like harassing and being crazy. All right. But I understand that like when there are people making like legit threats, like, yes, that's scary. That needs to be handled. That's not okay. I do not support that at all. But people are going to have opinions about you. You can't just have taken down. If you are not okay with that, don't be a public figure. If you're not okay with that, don't be an influencer. Does it suck? Yeah. Did you sign up for it? No. Is it unfortunately part of the job? Yes, it is. I have an attorney. I'm in every hate group of mine lurking. Babe, like, get a job. Go hang out with your kid. Yikes. Go play Magnetiles with your kid. You ever done that? It's great. Go race on Rainbow Road, babe. How old's your kid? 8? What 8-year-olds do? I don't know.
I am smarter at the internet than most of you. At the end of the day, I understand that I'm
smarter at the internet than most of you. Clearly you're not, Hamburglar, because look at how you just handled this. Clearly you're not good at the internet because this was not it. It's not it at all. It's yucky. Not to sound like a toddler mom, but it's yucky. Yucky. Stinky.
I understand that being a public figure, even a small one like myself, comes with scrutiny and bad publicity. But here's the thing. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be more intentional with what I share in my content going forward, but if you think your threats will scare me off, you're wasting your time. Haters come with the territory of success. Maybe all this attention just means I'm on my way to where I want to be. So say what you want, believe what you want. I'm still doing better than most of the people spending their time making Reddit accounts about me. The one thing I will strongly defend myself on is the fact that I have never been to jail, I have never lost my kid, and I have never received any legal charges, and any CPS cases that are tied to my name aren't because of me or anything I have done.
Aren't because of me or anything I have done. What about allegedly leaving your kid without, like, at home alone? What about having like pornographic stuff in your house? Like, that's not age appropriate, bud. That's not okay. That's gross. And again, let me reiterate again, just because you have not been arrested, charged, or convicted doesn't mean that you're not doing things that are illegal, that are inappropriate, or doesn't mean that you're not a parent or person. It just means you haven't been caught yet. It just means your platform's not big enough yet. Oh, Lord.
But people talk and haters run with anything. If you're here to support me as a regular person who messes up sometimes, but is doing their best to share their life authentically and educate on polyamory through personal lived experiences, hi, hello, my name is Dana. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm happy to be here to educate you.
Hi, I'm Dana, and I look like I smell like pee. So Repzilla Shane made a video about Dana and has actually made multiple videos about them because Dana's truly the gift that keeps on giving in a commentary sense. Let me tell you what. It is glorious. It's glorious if I do say so myself. I've been thirsting for another little saga for us because Elizabeth Teckenbrock is not doing it for me, okay? So hopefully she'll give me what I want, give me what I'm needing, all right? But Shane has a massive platform, so Dana did receive a good amount of backlash. And hey, what do you know? It's the consequences of your own actions, right? Instead of acknowledging anything, Dana backfired on TikTok, calling Repzilla a hater and claiming that it was all lies pushed by snark forums. And then Dana pivoted the narrative back to victimhood, saying that people are just attacking them because they're a sex worker. But the receipts are not coming from pearl clutching sex work haters. They're coming from former friends, ex-partners, and Dana's own text, vlogs, and photos. And then, of course, when the Repzilla videos, not just one, but videos, started to do really well, Dana began to spiral and crash out a good bit, deleting a lot of content on multiple of their accounts, rage posting, and, in my opinion, attempting to gaslight their followers. And the cherry on top, Dana accused CPS of being manipulated by trolls. Another aspect of this that I love, that I actually deal with quite a lot when I do make videos about people, and then after they're mad and they can like calm down for a second, they're like, oh my gosh, you actually helped me. Like, thanks for all the pyramid scheme girls do this all the time. The girl bosses, the MLMers, they're like, oh, you just helped my business so much by including me in a video. And I'm like, babe, no, I did not. But thanks for saying that, because now you crying defamation and slander and libel is irrelevant. Because in order to do that or have a chance at that, you have to be able to show like that I caused a loss for you financially, or you have to prove losses rather. And you just said that your business is thriving because a hater talked about you, right? And that's exactly what Dana did too. So Dana says that Repzilla's videos about them actually helped the business and that they were able to sell much more inventory and paddles, which is quite interesting because from this Reddit receipt here, if you can see this, it says that the traffic on Dana's website has been declining and pretty abysmal over the last 6 months. Dana's defenders say that they're just living an alternative lifestyle. And no, having multiple partners is an alternative lifestyle. Using GoFundMe to finance frivolous spending, defending and minimizing your ex's predatory charges and convictions, letting your kid roam around while naked people are having orgies downstairs in your basement, and gaslighting your followers is not unconventional. That's unhinged. So there's obviously a difference between being sex positive and being boundaryless. And in my opinion, Dana Hare is not someone who is pushing the boundaries of sexual liberation in a positive way. In my opinion, Dana is a reckless, selfish goober of a human, and especially of a mother. So that will be it for this video. If Dana decides to react or respond or anything like that, definitely let me know. I might not see it because they might block me right away, but definitely let me know. I hope you're having a great night, day, night, weekend, whenever you're watching this. Remember that if you are subscribed, your butt looks so good, your feelings are valid, your hair looks fabulous. You are absolutely just the coolest. You're not going to get diarrhea for like the rest of your life. However, if you are not subscribed, none of those sentiments apply to you. And I hope you get hemorrhoids and a cold sore. I don't know, man. It's none of my business. All right. Okay. Stay spicy, stay assertive, stay feral most of all. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.